2020. The world is on fire. And as much as I'd like to say that 2020 is a trash fire dumpster, just for the memes, this year has brought us something good. Unexpected, I know. And it is Transitus. Hey everyone, and welcome to this unboxing / blind commentary / discussion / my channel is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. So, Transitus is the 10th album on the Ayreon saga, and I pre-ordered it and it arrived today, so here I am, and we are going to listen to it for the very first time. I got the package right here. Documents enclosed, apparently. It's an earbook. It has 48 pages, as far as I know, and there are 4 CDs in it and a DVD. The 2 main CDs, and then an instrumental CD and a guide vocal CD, which is pretty cool, actually. And then the DVD has some behind-the-scenes stuff. I'm not entirely sure, but that's all gonna be in this package. So I am going to open this right now. So while I'm doing this, I should probably tell you a little bit about the album. As far as I've heard, you know Ayreon best from the science and the space and the future, 2084, for example. But this album is supposed to take place in 1884. We're going back to the past, y'all, to the better times. Because, honestly, we've had enough apocalypse for 2020. From what I've gathered, from what I've seen so far, is that the story is supposed to be a little bit more humane instead of, oh, the entire race is dying and the forever people and that kind of thing. Which is also very cool, but I've always liked the albums from Ayreon better that are, like, human-focused, like The Theory of Everything is my favorite album, closely followed by The Human Equation and Into the Electric Castle, so you can see where my tastes lie. Transitus also comes with a comic book. This is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant because Ayreon is such a genre that paints such vivid pictures, so we're literally gonna see pictures painted. And here we go. Ooh. Reflection. It's so sturdy. It's so, like, quality. So this is drawn by Felix Vega. Just wanted to shout that out. And, I've heard that you really need to experience this album with the comic, so reading the comic as you listen to the songs. So that's probably what I'll be doing. I hope this has, like, the complete lyrics. If not, I'll have to grab the actual lyrics, though, because I want to know every lyric. Oh, I forgot it was signed! It's signed by the big boy. I should probably call him a big boy. You're something, Ayreon. You're great. It looks so cool with the colors and everything. Oh, it's so good. And the track list is on the back. Okay, so the main CDs are on the front, I think. Oh, it has the comic inside as well. Oh, that's very interesting. So I have a comic, and I have the comic pages in the earbook. That is brilliant. By the way, Ayreon shipped a comic with every pre-order for Transitus that was placed, and I think that's just phenomenal. Thank you so much. Oh, I don't want to spoil myself too much already. I can't stop looking. These are all the people that are featured on the album, and I will shout them all out in quick fashion because they all deserve a shout out. Oh, what is this? Oh, a video shoot. Oh, look at this, guys. That probably means we're gonna get like a music video or something very soon, which is very, very exciting. Oh, there's also art. That's so cool. Oh, I keep showing everything. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my gosh. All the pages in sketch form. Gotta love that. Okay, and there are 3 CDs. Oh, one of them is the DVD. That's right. Yes. Okay. Transitus. So let me flip over to the page with the people on it. There are a lot of singers and musicians on this album. I'm just gonna go through them one by one very quickly, and I'll try to shout out where they're like the most famous from, or what I know them best from, like one thing that you could know them from, and please look them up further. I got a handy dandy list on my phone. I'm probably gonna butcher a lot of names here, so bear with me please. The storyteller is performed by Tom Baker, who is from Doctor Who. Daniel, the main character of this story, is performed by Tommy Karavik. That sounds familiar. Tommy Karavik. Tommy Karavik. Tommy Karavik. Tommy Karavik. Tommy Karavik. Moving on. Abby is performed by Cammy Gilbert, who is from Oceans of Slumber. The Fury /servant /villager is performed by Marcelo Bovio, who is from Stream of Passion, and she's also the wife in The Human Equation and The Theater Equation. Henry is performed by Paul Monzi, who is from Arena and The Suite. Lavinia is performed by Amanda Somerville, and I really want to shout out Exit Eden here because my dad is a huge fan of Exit Eden. So, hey, Amanda Somerville is in Exit Eden, and it's pretty cool. Abraham is performed by Johan James, who is from Threshold and Curb Grinder. Another Fury /servant /villager is performed by Caroline Westendorp, who is from The Charmed Fury. Great, I love that. The Angel of Death is performed by Simone Simons, and she is from Epica, but she was also featured on the 01011001 album, and she was on The Source, and she's great. The Statue is performed by Mike Mills, and that is an amazing dude. I love him. And I've heard Ayreon say that he wants Mike Mills to be featured on every Ayreon album from now on, and I'm all for that. You could also know him from Towhider, and he has been on The Theater Equation as Rage and Father, and he was also the father on The Theory of Everything, and he was TH1 on The Source. Mike Mills is not the father in this story. The father is played by the amazing Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. Then we have 6 more villagers who are played by Dan G. Pearson, Jan-Willem Ketelaars, Lisette van den Berg, Marianne Welman, Will Shaw, and Wilmer Waarbroek. That's a lot of Dutch for you. You're welcome. Okay, moving on to the musicians, the people that play the instruments. Joost van den Broek is back on it again. Obviously, he needs to be. He plays Hammond, piano, and Fender Rhodes. Then we have a new drummer. It's not Ed Warby this time, which is very surprising. It's not that Ed is gone forever, it's just for this one album, as far as I've heard, because this dude seemed to be a perfect fit for this album, so more power to him. His name is Juan van Emmerloot. Violin is once again performed by Ben Mathod. All flutes and other woodwinds are once again performed by Jeroen Goossens. We have a new person on the cello, namely Juriaan Westerveld. He was also on Into the Electric Castle Live, and he did a pretty good job there, I have to admit, because I was there. We have a genuine French horn performed by Alex Thijssen. We have another singer here. I apologize. I so apologize. There's the soprano, and she's performed by Dianne van Giersbergen. And what I know her best from is that she creates jewelry out of guitar strings and that kind of thing. And it's so good. It's such good stuff. Then we have Joe Satriani, who played a guitar solo on the song Get Out Now. We have Marty Friedman, who played lead guitar on Message from Beyond. And we have Patty Gurdy, who plays the hurdy-gurdy. And that is one of the best instruments I've ever seen in my life. And we have trumpet and trombone performed by Thomas Cochrane? Sorry. And last but not least, a Hellscore choir exists, and it is directed by Noah Grumman, and she asked Ayreon, like, hey, if you ever need a choir, I have one here, and Ayreon was like, that's cool, I want that. So they are on this album as well. Now that we got that out of the way, let's pull these CDs out very carefully and start listening to it. I'm so excited. Headphones on. The first part has 9 songs, so let's go through those. I'm so excited. Whew. All I'm gonna say is that while not having listened to anything just yet, we are starting off in a bedroom. And I see a lot of fire. So let's go. So the first song, it consists of 5 parts? 6 parts. 6 parts. And only the last part seems to have lyrics. The other ones seem to be narrated or sung by choir. Oh, there we go. Okay. We're starting with rain. We're starting with rain, people. Ooh, thunder. Oh, the choir. Oh, this sounds so epic already. I'm not gonna cry. Oh, this is so epic. The choir is amazing. The trumpet or whatever I'm hearing. By the way, I have no knowledge about music in any way. I just like stories. I just like metal. I just like Ayreon. Okay, I'm pausing the music a little bit. I've heard the first part of the narration, and I'm getting the vibe that this is going to be supernatural, which is interesting because it was usually, like I said, about space and science. And this seems to have a supernatural thing to it, which I love. All the power to Aryan. Okay, so I've heard the second part now, the 1884 part, the B part of the song, and I got chills. The narration, as expected, is phenomenal. I'm getting some kind of horror-y vibes even. Not only supernatural, but kind of like a horror thing. And I get scared very easily. I may be the person that he's talking about faint of heart, but we're moving on anyway. I'm the worst. Okay, calm down. It's just a guy. It's just, oh my. So I just heard part E, Y, and it introduces Tommy, and I'm okay. Oh my god. It is very mandatory to have the comic with the music. While you can take a lot from music, the story, for now, takes place in the comic, and the music is like accompanying that story. Which is a very interesting take for Ayreon, because Ayreon was always very telling in lyrics. You have first the ominous introduction from Tom Baker, the storyteller, and then you have like epic music with the choir, and it feels like you're going through like a portal, like a wormhole or something, and then part C starts and you are there, and you see the love from Daniel and Abby. Then we have the fourth part, Fatum, D, with a lot of Latin. I suppose it's Latin. I can't read Latin, apparently. Maybe I'll put that here somewhere, maybe not, who knows. Without even knowing what the lyrics say, it just screams, doom. Doom is about to happen. And what you see in the comic is that Daniel and Abby are laying in bed. She leaves the room and the candle knocks over. Yeah, the candle knocks over that she was carrying, not anymore. And the room gets set on fire and Daniel burns to death. He literally burns to death. Like, that's the most horrific, painful thing to die from. Like, burning to death. And she comes back and tries to save him. But he thinks that because of that, because she is in the room, that she lit the room on fire. And that she is trying to kill him. So he feels very betrayed. I don't know. I don't know how fresh this love is, or if it's been going on for years, or just a week. But I think he would have to think twice before accusing her. Like, if I saw my loved one run to me, I would not think, oh, he was trying to kill me. I would think like, oh, he's trying to save me. But maybe it's very fresh, and it's obviously very controversial, this love, whatever is going on. So maybe he keeps waiting for the moment that she is going to betray him because he doesn't believe it. I could see that, yeah. So in the last part, Abby feels guilty for what she's done. Even though, from what I've gathered from the page, it was an accident. The thing just knocked over while she had already left the room. So it's definitely not her fault. Well, she could have blown the candles out, but who knew this was gonna happen, right? In blind panic, she runs to her parents' house, or at least her dad. I don't know if the female figure there is actually her mom. We have Abraham and Lavinia there, anyway. And the dad seems like a very good dad. Ayreon has a good dad. That's a first. So she cries out like, oh my gosh, I think I killed Daniel and stuff. And he's like, okay, calm down, sweetie. I'm here for you. I want to see what happened. What are you actually talking about? And so she and the dad run out of the house, and the mom, Lavinia, gets left behind. And what I can't really tell where she is on the spectrum of goodness. She stays behind, baffled, and the door closes while no one's there. And then she looks behind her, and Daniel is screaming in a mirror. And you can actually hear it in the music that Tommy is screaming, and my heart breaks, okay? The thing is though, when the song ends and the next one begins, you hear a female scream. I'm not entirely sure what that is about. Maybe it's just Abby running up, going like, ah! But I don't know. It sounded like someone that had already died, like a ghost scream, basically. So yeah, doors mysteriously slamming, supernatural, right? My guess is that it's Daniel, but he doesn't know that he's doing that. Like, he realizes he's dead, I think, but I don't think he realizes that he's actually moving things in the living world. So let's move on to the next song. So what this narration tells us is that Transitus is what I assumed already, actually, is the place between heaven and hell. So like an in-between place, like a transit place. So Daniel's descent into Transitus is exactly what the title says. Daniel is descending into Transitus, and he doesn't really know what happened to him, which makes a lot of sense to me. He's like, I was burned, but I have no marks. No burn marks, not anything. But he knows he's dead. Like, he has common sense. What I like about this song is that the music really times, like, perfectly well with Tommy's voice. Like, it looks like it was molded together, basically. And Tommy has this little Arabic thing in his voice. And I've never really heard that from him. There's also a little part of it that kind of sounds like Camelot to me, like going to hell. That's really Camelot-like. So I appreciate that that's in there. So there's a lot in here just from these few minutes already. Man, Ayreon really knows what he can ask from his singers, doesn't he? This was great. Okay, Simone, you are so right. Oh my gosh. Oh yes, I have to confess, you are cuter than the rest of this lifeless crowd. So even in the story, Tommy is oh my god. Is that the reason why Ayreon chose Tommy for this role? Because that's perfect. I can't. So it turns out the Angel of Death has a very important role in this story, because if she had just said, nah, you're not cute, you're not my type, then this entire album would not have taken place. Well, the first 3 songs, and then nothing. So the third song, Listen to My Story, is a very, it's a song that lays good in your ears. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, especially the chorus is very much like, it stays in your head, and it's very sing-along-y. So I feel like this could be like a single or something, but yet this was not released as a single. So Daniel realizes that he should not have doubted his love. What I find interesting is that in the comic, he calls Abby his wife. And that's not in the lyrics. So Abby is his wife? But I thought it was like a secret girlfriend no one was supposed to know about. Or at least like a forbidden love that people knew about, but it's, you know, that's kind of confusing to me. But okay, she's his wife. Very good song. And I am curious to go to the next one. So apparently we're going to travel back in time to 1884 again, because that's where we were already. And time travel is so confusing. So the fourth song is called Two Worlds Now One. And as the title suggests, it's very much a love song. So I was wrong before. They traveled to 1883, not 84. They traveled to a year before when Daniel and Abby met. So I was right that Lavinia is not the mother. Lavinia is Abby's stepmom, not her bio mom. They both work as servants in the household of Daniel and his father. We have a lot of connections here. Daniel is very wealthy, while his father is very wealthy, and by that, Daniel is very wealthy. And they have two servants, which are stepmom and stepdaughter. The father introduces the new staff, basically, to his sons. And Abby and Daniel lock eyes, and it's a bloop. So I have to say that Cammie's voice I had never heard before, but her voice is so powerful yet feminine, and it really suits the story, it really suits the character, and I think it's perfect casting. Of course, I'm always gonna say that Tommy's casting is perfect, but really, like, his voice is so emotive, and you can taste the love. You can almost touch it. Like, it's so good. So good. Okay, moving on. Alright, so the fifth song is called Talk of the Town, which has already been released as a single about a week ago from the time of this recording. Man, I already said, like, a song previously was stuck in my head, like a little bit of it. This entire song is stuck in my head. The rhythm is so catchy, and I love it. Henry, who is played by Paul Munsey once again, has a great voice. It's very clear. I like that. It's very telling. But the character Henry, I don't know if I like him that much. He seems to hide behind his fake demeanor, I suppose. Like, he thinks it's very important how other people see you. And how someone who's connected to him, if they do something wrong, how that's gonna come back to him. So it feels to me like he has not that much of a personality. He has not that much to brag about other than my dad is rich. But he has nothing to offer. That's how it comes across to me. The fun thing is, Daniel starts talking to his brother, but like in somewhat of a friendly way. Because, I mean, they're family. He doesn't want to say, like, you're crap. But he only goes against Henry once. And Henry just goes on his rampage, his word vomit. What I like is that Abby actually goes against him the second time. And the third time, and the fourth time, and the fifth time, and the sixth time. She has personality. She is very girl power. I don't know if this is a correct assumption for me to say, but like back in 1883, it was not very accepted for women to have such a strong personality. They just had to kind of follow along, you know? So the fact that she goes against this rich dude and calling him out on his BS, I love it. I live for it. And of course, Henry being a crybaby is like, I'm gonna tell Dad! So the sixth song is called Old Friend. This is the part where Mike Mills is being pushed into the story. He's not in this song yet, but it is about him. Daniel sings to a statue that, as a friend, he thought would talk back to him, because that's what children do. He falls back to his childhood tactics by talking to the statue and being like, oh, what should I do? It's a short song, so there's not much to say about it. The song is completely sung by Tommy, and I'm all for that, as always, so thanks. But now we're moving on to the seventh song, which is called Dumb Piece of Rock, and I've heard it's quite something, and it's all Mike Mills, and whew, I'm here for it. Before I start listening to it, though, I wanted to point out that I don't know how the story is going to continue, obviously, but for now, it kind of feels like Ayreon shoehorned Mike Mills in, like he had no part for him, but he wanted him to be in the album, so he created something. Like, I feel like the statue has no repercussions on the story whatsoever, other than just being there, because Ayreon wants Mike to be on the album, which is understandable, which is very understandable, because I want Mike to be on the album too. I hope the statue gets like actual significance in the story. I hope that this song will reaffirm that for me. So, dumb piece of rock, huh? I can't exactly pinpoint why, but this song sounds like it's straight out of the Theory of Everything. The same rhythms, the same melodies. I can't exactly pinpoint it because I have no knowledge on music whatsoever. And that's probably because it's Mike Mills' song, I guess. I like the refrain. Dutch, hello. I like the chorus because you can clearly hear that Mike harmonized with himself and he did like backing vocals, and that's Mike's forte. He's so good at that. Do you remember from the Source where he went like TH1? That was epic stuff. And he did it again. Not as epic as that, because that was literally musicless. That was his entire voice who made up the music. There's probably a word for that I don't know right now. But yeah, it's a very, very Theory of Everything Ayreon-esque song, and it's very good. It's very good. And I'm glad it's here. But I still don't know what the relevance is of this song to this entire story. It still kind of feels shoehorned in on a lore perspective, on a story perspective. But I'm not complaining about the music or the lyrics or anything, because it's a good song. It's brilliant and I'm glad it's here. But story-wise, I don't know about this. So the 8th song is Get Out Now. And that song was, I think the first single that was released, together with Hopelessly Devoted to You. No, it's not that one, but something like that. Hopelessly Slipping Away. There we go. They released those songs together because the Get Out Now is a very rocky song, and the Hopelessly Slipping Away. My brain farts all the day, all the time, all the day, all forever. Get Out Now is very good. It fits Dee Snider. The song sounds like it's from his era. I feel like Ayreon did his very best to make songs that really fit the person that's singing them, compared to the character that they're actually portraying. So I really like that. It's like a double layer. Like there's the story, but there's also he's creating songs for the singers. And that's so good, because that's all we want to hear. We want to hear these voices in songs that fit them so well, regardless of stories. So I think he struck a nice balance between having a story and having music that fits the story with like some kind of instruments that really make it feel like 19th era. But he also made songs that you could listen to separately because the songs fit the singers so well. So great job on that. In this story, Henry goes to the father and he tells him about Daniel and Abby, and obviously the father is not going to be happy about this, because if there's anyone who cares about the status of the family, it's the father. What's interesting is I didn't catch this when it was a single, but now that I have the lyrics, it says that the screams in the background are the servants. So it's not even only Daniel's father, but it's also the low tier poor servants that call them out, like that want Daniel and Abby gone. That's so weird. Like, if anyone should relate to the pain that Abby and Daniel are experiencing right now, they should be the ones that are supportive, right? That's weird. That's really weird. The interesting part about this is that Daniel's father says that regardless of what Daniel did, like, he doesn't condone it. Like, it's absolutely forbidden. But he does say to Daniel that he is not a monster and you're still my family, so I will still provide for you. Which is interesting. I figured that the Daniel's father would just cast him out without anything. But I guess he wants to keep his status to the outside proper. Well, I guess he doesn't want to come out that Daniel has done something wrong in the first place because it's his son and that would taint his status. So I guess he is just not gonna say it, and he is going to cast Daniel and Abby out, but without having the public knowing that. But he sells it to Daniel like, oh, I'm still your father, you're still family, I'll still care for you. But it's really not about that. So in the comic, Daniel's father offers them a house by a graveyard, which is very interesting seeing as what happens to Daniel later on. but he gives them the house that is with Graveyard. So he's indeed cast out, but not as publicly, which makes sense to me. Alright, we're moving on to the last song of this part, which is 7 Days, 7 Nights. So in this song, the Angel of Death gives her verdict, and she grants Daniel 7 days and 7 nights to right the wrong, basically. Because I didn't really point that out in previous songs, but Daniel, like, accused Abby of burning him. And he, like, as soon as he died, he came to his senses. Brilliant timing. But he is afraid that he is gonna get accused of his murder. And I think that that's pretty accurate to think, because she went to her father and said, "I killed Daniel." That's literally what she said to him. So I think Daniel's right about that one, that she is probably gonna get accused of his murder. So he is allowed to go back and help her, like, claim her innocence and make sure that she doesn't get accused. The thing is, nobody can hear or see or feel or touch him. He's just there as a ghost. And that brings me back to the very first song, second song, in which the door closed mysteriously in front of Lavinia. And you think, like, oh, they went back in time from Transitus to 1883 and experienced all this. This has taken like an hour of literal music time to experience all this. But I think this happened literally in the blink of an eye. I think this happened in between him burning to death and her arriving at her parents' house. And I think the door closing was indeed Daniel, who has already come back for his 7 days and 7 nights. We are going to stop the video here, and in the next part we will experience Daniel's return as a ghost and see if he can get Abby declared innocent. I think it's gonna be hard. Let's see if tragedy happens, shall we? I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun recording this so far. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I keep repeating myself. My brain is dead. I wish you all good health and happiness, because we need both of those things desperately right now. I just wanted to put that in there. Thank you so much for watching. Doei doei.